no cookouts. We better not see no celebrations. We better not see no red, white, and blue flags. I better not catch one of you coons celebrating your oppressor's freedom. I better not. I better not. I better not catch a coon on July 4th celebrating this slave master's freedom.
All right. Shalom. And, this guy, Dr. Umar, got a good point with this. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's all into confusion, right? But this is what you Jakes, you do all your folly, you do your barbecues. This Jake don't stand for anything, right? They follow the so-called white man, a slave master, to this very day. You like, how crazy is this that they still got this kind of control over our people, right? Because Jake is lost. They lost sheep, right? So let's get into this lesson. So you celebrating your own captivity. That's what you celebrating. And Jake don't like to be told the truth because these niggas want to stay into they folly. When you go into the word folly, it's foolishness. And this always has been a rebellious, foolish, bugged out, sick, twisted, demented, you know what I'm saying, nation. You can't tell them shit, right? Everything's offensive to Jake, right? But let the so-called white man tell them things. They'll be receptive, right? And you ninjas about stupid as a doorknob, right? It says Independence Day. It says on July 4th, 1776, right? This really was the creation of the Illuminati, but we'll go into that a whole nother day. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to keep it very simple. I don't want to get too complex for Jake, right? And you brothers and you sisters already know what time it is, but we got to cover these lessons because there's new people waking up, right? But Jake is celebrating their own captivity. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Why are you celebrating this, right? You Jakes are under a deep spell, man. And this is gut wrenching a lot of times dealing with Jake. Because you see how fucked up they is, man. You know what I'm saying? It says the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776, known as Independence Day. So you celebrating literally your own captivity, right? You celebrating somebody else shit. Let's go here. And I put in, when was slavery abolished? And slavery was never abolished. I just want to show you a point that I'm trying to make. Right? You was emancipated. When you go into the word emancipated, it means transfer of property. So you transfer from private ownership to public, which would be the United States government. Jake, look it up. It says passed by Congress on January the 31st, 1865. Right? So you go back here, your ass was still in captivity in 1776. Almost with this like 100 years, give or take, what, 1865? Right? So you were still in people were still in captivity. So Jake don't, it's crazy, man. What's wrong with you Jakes, man? Right? Let's go here. I ain't want to make this too long. But our people love this system. They love their captivity. They actually celebrate their own captivity. It's the craziest thing that you can ever imagine. But this what happens when you let the so-called Christian pastor rear these people up, man. Let's go here. Boy, Jacob vex you out, man. We got to deal with these ninjas till this destruction happen. Let's go here. First John 2:15, it says, love not the world. What world is this talking about? This is talking about the Edomite world, their culture, their language, their traditions, their customs, they everything. You Jakes get all into it because you don't know better. Neither the things that are in the world. So these traditions, celebrations, many things in this world our people have adopted because they've been culturally assimilated, right? It says, if any man love the world, so Jake in love with this Edomite culture, he in love with the Edomite world. He in love with it. He loved being second-class citizens. That's what they love. It says the love of the Father is not in him. So you've been assimilated, culturally assimilated under somebody else's culture, and that's what you just the traditions that you celebrate, right? And when you told about this, you get offended, right? Westernization. I went into this definition before, but you Jakes have been westernized. That's why you got a ninja with a westernized mind trying to comprehend a Bible from an Eastern standpoint. You can't do it. 1 second. All right. So westernization. When you go deep into this, check this out at the top. It says the meaning of westernization is the conversion to or adoption of Western traditions or techniques. So you, Jake, speak English. You eat all this food. You eat all this stuff that you call food, but it's really poison. Fast food, junk food. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff that you eating is killing you, man. But you in love with this, this culture, this hot dog society. This American diet is demonic. Hot dogs, corn dogs, chili cheese, Frito Pops, all this crazy shit, man. Right? Let's go to this term, cultural assimilation. This heavy right here. It says assimilation is the most often talked about in the context of cultural assimilation, which is when immigrant groups, which you this apply to you, Jake, because this is not your original state, right? This is not your original, you know what I'm saying? You outside of your culture, you outside of, what you was originally set up to be. You almost, like you're a foreigner over here almost, even though you had the northern tribes was inhabiting this land, right? But these traditions that you under, right? So it apply to Jake. It says when immigrant groups are encouraged to adopt a culture, so that's what you have done, Jake, values and social behaviors for their host nation. That's exactly what happened to our people. This means shedding or hiding aspects of one's culture, including certain foods, clothing, language, religious. So a lot of you Jakes are embarrassed about the traditions our forefathers out of the Bible. You don't want to deal with that. You want to have this Western mentality of looking at life, right? So culture assimilation, right? Check this out at the top. Culture assimilation refers to the process in which a minority group, they even call you minorities, or culture assembles the behaviors, values, rituals, and beliefs. That's why you, in my background, you hear these little ninjas popping fireworks. They're under a spell. You know what I'm saying? Let's go here. Social behavior. So that's one of the words that was tied into cultural assimilation. I want to go right here. Social behavior. So it's the way you talk. Jake interact in this system because they have to hide who they really are. You know what I'm saying? They have to assimilate. It says social behavior is the way people interact with and influence other individuals. So that's why most of our people use this term black to refer to their own people. And they refer to the so-called white people as white people. Why do they do this? Because it's a social construct and it's a social behavior, right? Let's go here. Let's go to the Second Timothy. And our people in love with their own captivity. It's the craziest thing that you can ever conjure up. 2 Timothy 4:10. But this ain't nothing new with our people. 2 Timothy 4:10. For Demas, having forsaken me, having loved this present world. We'll go to this word world and isolate it. It has and is departed unto Thessalonica. Salakia. All right, so this guy Demas, let's go here. See who he was, Demas. It says, and a companion and fellow laborer of Paul during the first imprisonment at Rome, right? At Rome. It appears, however, that he love of the world afterwards mastered him, and he deserted the apostles. So he went back into the world. That's why we'll be telling you, Jakes, and we'll say this, that they went back into the world because this world has an influence on our people. It makes them act. This is ultimate mind control, right? This mind control. Our people under deep enchantments and mind control to make them do things that they don't even really know they're doing or why they're doing it. It's out of ignorance at this point. Traditions, right? The 4th of July ain't got nothing to do with you, Jakes, but yet you stupidly follow this and you celebrate it. And you would say you're not celebrating for that reason. Jake got every excuse under the world besides being held accountable. Right? So he loved this present world. Matter of fact, let's go here. Let's go to this word, Salakia. Let me click out of there. This thing was just working. 1 second. All right, here we go. I had to go to the whole scripture. Thessalonica. Right here. It says an important metropolis by the Roman period, right? So during the Roman Empire, that's who was in power during this time. And that the Romans were the Edomites. And that's what our people have adopted their culture, that perverse, demonic, do as thou will culture that comes with no accountability. Just do whatever you want to do as long as it feels good. Right? Let's go here. I'm gonna go to this word world because he loved the world. He fell back into the world. Let's go to this scripture. I'm gonna go to this word world so you can see. And you go to the word world in this context, it means aeon, a eon.
Strong's G 165. Ion.
In this context, what this word means is period of time. So at that time, you had the Roman Empire that was in power, which are Edomites, and the culture that you seeing happen today was the same culture in the traditions and celebrations. It was copying the so-called Edomites in the Roman Empire, and then they doing the same thing because this is the revised Roman Empire in America. They're copying the same traditions and going back into the same things of the world, right? So ain't nothing new under the sun. So this ain't nothing new for our people, right? But you got the elect of the nation of Israel are coming up out of this. They don't want to be a part of, this wickedness, man. And you actually got a phrase that's called the Roman world. So right here, they celebrating them being conquered. So our people, this ain't got nothing to do with them, but they're celebrating it because out of the ignorance and tradition. And Jake, anytime there's some folly involved, Jake is the first people there when it's folly. When it's time to get serious, study, take care of business, Jake, he the last in line, so to speak, right? And it's going to show you how fucked up our people is. I'm just telling you how it is, right? So you're not supposed to be copying these traditions, but yet you stupid ninjas call yourself Christians, right? You know what I'm saying? Have no clue what's really going on and what the Bible is really talking about, right? A lot of you jakes are over emotional. You've been raised by the so-called black woman, and that shows because your emotions come spewing out when you spewing out your madness, Jake. Right? But I ain't want to make this too long. We do this every year, going into this madness to edify the body. But hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Halal Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rachat Kodash. Shalom.